I started to think about leaving the United States because I was running my own real estate business, and I was just in workaholism and working a lot. So I started to think, is there a different way that I could experience life? At the time when I was living in America, I was the most stressed just about my work schedule, but it was very fast paced and I didn't have time to really create the life I wanted. When I told my friends and family I was gonna move to Spain, honestly, I think they were a bit shocked to start, but also my personality is very adventurous. So at the same time, they weren't shocked. My name is Clara. I am 36 years old and I am originally from West Virginia. However, I spent about 10 years in Denver, Colorado before moving to Spain. I have been living in Spain for a little over 3 years now. My first week in Spain was really hard, as you can imagine. I didn't know anybody and I was jet lagged and I didn't know where the grocery store was. So my first impressions walking around it was just so foreign. It's like, where am I? What shocked me in my first week was I just felt like I was in a concrete jungle because I moved from a neighborhood that was very open and spacious to the center of Barcelona. And so it was just shocking to me, the lack of grass. It was just so new. Like I lived with a backyard with grass. What felt different from America was grocery shopping. Like the necessities of life, I had to figure out how to do. And when you live in a place for so long, you have your flow, and I had a car in the States. And when I moved to Spain, it felt so different to navigate just even where to get my coffee, where to get groceries, what certain grocery stores were. So that felt very different, just like the basics that you take for granted. What surprised me about how people live here in Spain, it's cliche, but just how late they eat dinner. It's something that still surprises me actually, was the difference in food schedule. A normal weekday here for me, honestly, doesn't look much different than my life in the States because here I also worked for myself. It's just a bit slower. So it looks like waking up, doing some movement, getting a coffee, and then coming home and starting my workday, just at a very chill pace. My Sunday mornings have become much more of a sacred time. I will say that when I first moved to Spain, everything is closed on Sundays, which is not normal in the States. So here it's like I wake up on a Sunday morning and I can hear the birds chirping and there's nobody on the street and you just feel like you have no pressure to do anything. So I'll have a nice slow coffee, I'll have a late brunch, maybe take a long walk or go to the beach. That's really what a Sunday looks like. It became easier to not put so much expectation on fast movement. It was shocking to me when I moved how much time people take to get things done, but it has made my life easier in a way that when I'm working, I'm not so rushed. I can breathe a bit deeper. A lot of things became healthier when I moved to Spain, but the top ones that come to mind are just access to good quality food and produce. It's just not so hard to find. In the United States, I was committed to eating a nutrient-dense, whole food diet, which you have to work quite hard to do because you have to find the places that offer that, and organic food's much more expensive. But in Spain, it's like there's a fruit corner a fruit stand on every street. And so I can walk back from my co-working space and grab a couple things that I need for dinner. And I feel like that's just made eating healthier a lot easier. I spend a lot less time worrying about if my food is organic or not. I get around Valencia mostly on my bike because I find it to be quicker sometimes even than taking the metro. But of course, there's always the option for the metro if it's a spot that's far away. For example, when I go to the beach, I take the metro because it just makes it much quicker and less hot. I do so much more walking now compared to the US. I think I've looked because I've been obsessed with my step count. And when I lived in the US, my last year, my average was 6,000 steps a day. And now if I don't get 10,000 steps a day, it's very weird. And my average is more 12 or 13 just from living my life. Something that's completely normal in Spain that would literally shock Americans is the bureaucracy, how long it takes to get a document approved by the city or to get an appointment that you really need. It is something that I had to adjust to, and I've talked a lot about liking the slower pace. My gosh, sometimes though it does drive me crazy when I'm trying to get something done in the professional realm with a notary. It is normal for something to take double the time than you would expect here. For healthcare, I am both in the public system and I also have private healthcare. I find that the private is quicker and a bit more organized, and it was required for me my first year living in Spain because of the visa I had. So I've just kind of kept it, but recently I've been thinking maybe it's time to switch to fully public because it's free, and I've used the service for a few things and I've begun to start to like it. So I think I will drop my private health insurance and just use public. My private health insurance costs right now about 80 euros a month. And of course, public is free. The same type of health insurance and the same type of coverage in the United States costs me about $250 a month, which is actually considered a bit lower than some people just because I was single and I didn't have any health issues. For a living in Spain, I work in real estate and I help internationals buy or sell property. Mostly I work a buyer's agency with internationals and mostly Americans because I worked in real estate in the States for a long time, and so I can help bridge that gap because real estate is very different here in Spain. And I also do one-on-one coaching specifically with Americans that want to move to Spain. We talk about the logistics a lot, but also more the energetic and emotional side, because moving out of your own country to a different country comes with a lot of big decisions, fear, emotional blocks. And so I help my clients really work through those and step on the other side of fear and into a new experience. My monthly earnings vary because I'm completely commission-based. Last year, I made roughly 5,000 euros a month before taxes. And this is about 4 to 5 times less than I was making in my last year in real estate in the United States. So yes, I was making a lot more money in the United States. My total monthly budget is 1,200 euros a month. That is for my rent, groceries, and just basic living and bills. My rent is 1,300 in total, and we split that. Again, I split that with my partner, and we pay on average 200 euros a month for all utilities. So that is internet, electric, and water. Eating out can vary. That depends on just how much we're eating out each month. But the transportation is just so cheap compared to what I was paying. I think I probably spend 25 to 30 euros a month if I'm taking the metro a lot. So my monthly costs compared to the US are much cheaper. I was a property owner, so my mortgage was about double what I'm paying right now. My lifestyle doesn't feel too much different. And in the US monthly, I don't remember exact numbers, but I could easily spend $5,000 a month, easily, on just basic needs. I came to Spain on a student visa. At 33 years old, but I really wanted to move to Spain, and I started to do some research, and I learned that I could go to Spanish school part-time and qualify for a student visa for a year. So that's how I kind of started my journey and then figured it out from there. I will say that that visa didn't permit me to work, and so the first year I was living off of savings and kind of trying to figure out my life and what I wanted to do. The process of getting my first student visa took about 3 months. It wasn't super painful. I applied within the United States and I was living in Colorado. And so the Spanish embassy was actually in LA. So that was the hardest part, is depending on where the embassy is, sometimes they don't let you do anything online. So I had to fly to LA to apply and they wouldn't send it back to me. So I also had to fly back to pick it up when it was ready. And that whole process was 2.5 months from applying to picking it up. I am a Spanish tax resident now. I still do file US taxes. I'm not even gonna try to explain how that works because I use a gestor here in Spain and a CPA in the States because I won't even try to do it myself. So my biggest advice is to figure out how you're gonna do that before you move, because I didn't do that. Long story short is I file my Spanish taxes first and then claim that to the US, and the US, I have to extend my filing to wait for the Spanish income to come in, and then my CPA does everything. I handle US mail from Spain by sending anything that's important, making my mailing address my sister's address, and she lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's because she can review things for me and tell me if it's important. So I try my best to not move a lot of money between the US and Spain because I really want to live off of euros, and so my income is through Spain. However, when my first year I really needed to use my funds from the US, and so I would transfer money either through Wise or Revolut. I really suggest Revolut. I think it's fantastic. And so I'll still use Revolut when I need to transfer money over. I haven't encountered too many problems between the US and Spain with bank accounts, but I quickly, you really need a Spanish bank account. So I did that, and I learned to keep them quite separate, and I just make income here and use my Spanish bank account. The hardest part about paperwork that nobody's gonna warn you about is literally everything. Honestly, it just is much slower in Spain, and it feels like it's not like cohesive rules. Like one time someone could have one experience and the next person has a different experience. Honestly, my advice is just don't do it alone. I never, even with my visa processes, I've never tried to do it alone. I've always used a Spanish lawyer for that, or whatever kind of service you need to get your NIA. Like, it really helps to have a professional because it's gonna be very difficult to do it yourself. Almost impossible in my opinion. The hardest part about moving to Spain was language. I had a belief that I would just learn Spanish effortlessly by just going to school. Nothing will humble you more quickly than that, because Europeans are just much better at switching between languages than Americans for many reasons. A lot of that's geographical, and so growing up in the States, I just didn't hear a lot of different languages, and that was something exciting to me, but I didn't speak any Spanish when I moved. The hardest part wasn't communication, because you can always figure out how to communicate with somebody. The hardest part was self-worth around language, because I wasn't proficient at all in Spanish, and I've just never experienced that in my life, not being able to deeply explain myself or to feel worthy. Like I felt unworthy that I wasn't able to communicate in Spanish, and that was definitely the hardest part. I would move back to the United States if the timing was right in my life, mostly because I love the nature. And so maybe I would want to live in nature one day and be closer to my family. I would not move back to the United States right now. That's nowhere in my desire based on the current political administration. I absolutely would not move back for that reason. I would actually not say that I'm happier now. I would not say that I was happier in the United States. I would just say that it's different. I don't want to put the idea that like moving abroad just automatically like changes everything that you might be struggling with. It just is going to give you new things that you struggle with and new ways of navigating the world. So for me, I'm not happier, but I'm different, and I would never take back the decision. But I'm not unhappy. It's like I'm quite satisfied, but I think if I would have stayed in the States, I would have been okay too. Like, I don't want to put some kind of false beautiful bow on it. It's more just life is more expansive and you'll learn yourself in different ways. But happier is not a way I would describe it. Living abroad, and specifically in Spain, has changed me in ways that I could never expect. My main motivation for moving was to learn myself in new ways. And so it's just made me able to meet different versions of myself. And so like I couldn't even go back to the life I was living before if I wanted to. It's like you just grow so much that version would feel like fitting yourself back into like an old package that you don't fit into anymore. I feel like my worldview of different cultures and how things work completely expanded, and it's just like the bubble I was in, even though I thought I was global and worldly, it just expanded way past that. I mean, I have friends from everywhere in the world, and I've learned many different cultures, so it's just changed what I know about myself and the world.